students, I am Dr. Sandeepa Biswas and you are watching my channel Econs on Earth. And in my last video I have described the principle of diminishing marginal utility of consumer behavior. In this video I am going to describe the principle of equi-marginal utility, and it is also a part of the theory of consumer behavior. So please watch it, and I hope this video will be useful for you all. The law of equi-marginal utility states that the consumer will be at equilibrium where he will equate the marginal utility of last rupee spent on each commodity he is going to buy. So this is the definition of the concept which we are going to study in detail, and we will understand the technicalities of this theory. The theory says that the consumer will be at equilibrium, or he will choose a certain point where the marginal utilities derived from each from last rupees spent on each commodity he is going to buy. That means he will not equate his marginal utilities that will be derived from different goods, but he will equate the marginal utility of last rupee spent on each commodity he is going to buy in the market. What is the difference between the marginal utility of the commodity or the marginal utility of the last rupee spent on each commodity? We will see in the video. On this whiteboard, the marginal utility of money spent on X is shown by MU subscript M of X, and this will be equal to marginal utility of X upon price of X, and the marginal utility of last rupee spent on Y is shown by MU of M MUM of Y, and this will be equal to marginal utility or MUY upon price of Y or PY. And the theory says that the consumer will be equilibrium where this and this will be equal, or this and this fraction will be equal. This is the condition for a consumer to be at equilibrium. The principle of equi-marginal utility can be written in this form, that the ratio of marginal utility of X upon price of X will be equal to ratio of marginal utility of Y divided by price of Y, and these will be equal to marginal utility of money or the marginal utility of last rupee spent on the both commodities. On this whiteboard, the marginal utility chart of a consumer is given. The first column shows the units of the commodities, and there are two commodities, X and Y. The second column shows the marginal utility derived from the consumption of X. Say the first unit of X gives 20 utils of marginal utility, second gives 18, third gives 16, fourth gives 14, fifth gives 12, and the last unit of X gives 10 utils of marginal utility. And when we move to the third column, we can see the marginal utility of commodity Y. First unit of Y gives 24 utils of marginal utility. Second unit of X gives 21 utils of marginal utility. Third unit of Y gives 18. Fourth gives 15. Fifth gives 9. And sixth or the last unit of Y gives 3 utils of marginal utility. So far we have seen or we have understood the concept in our previous video. In this video, we will move ahead and we will see that if this is the situation, how the consumer will settle down on a certain equilibrium point where the consumer will choose to be so that he can maximize his total utility. Now, on this whiteboard, we have also the marginal utility of money expenditure. How we have got this? Given, suppose we have gone to the market and we have found that the price of X is 2 and the price of money is 3. Now we will divide the marginal utility of X for each unit with the price of that particular commodity, and we have already seen the formula for the marginal utility of the last rupee spent on a commodity. What we have to do? We have to divide marginal utility of X or marginal utility of Y with the price of the respective commodity. So here is then how we have got this. We have got this then by dividing 20 by 2, right? 20 by 2 is equal to 10. 18 by 2. 18 by 2 we have got 9. Likewise 16 by 2 8, 14 by 2 7, 12 by 2 6 and 10 by 2 is 5. On the third column, the marginal utility of money expenditure for Y is 8. How we have got this 8? We have seen here that the price of Y is rupees 3 in the market, and the marginal utility derived from the first commodity of first unit of Y is 24. Now what we have to do? We need to divide 24 by 3, and if we will do that, we will get 8. And what is this? This 8 represents the marginal utility of the money spent on the first unit of the commodity Y. And so far, by dividing the marginal utilities by price of Y3, we have got these numbers like 8, 7, 6, 5, 3 and 1. So far so good. And now what we are interested in? We are interested in looking into where the consumer will be at the equilibrium point. And what was in the definition? It was said that the consumer will be at equilibrium where the marginal utilities of the last rupee spent on the commodities he is going to purchase, and in this case there are only 2 commodities, will be equal. So where are these equal? Here. See, one thing to mention is 6, and this 6 is also equal, but the consumer will not be at equilibrium at this point, like 5 units of X and the 3 units of 6. He will not be at equal. Why? We will see later. But we will describe the 6 unit of X and the 4 unit of Y first, where the marginal utilities of money expenditure is equal for the both commodities. In determining the equilibrium of the consumer, 2 things are very important. The first is the principle of marginal utility or the diminishing marginal utility, and the second is the level of income. Yes. how and where the consumer will be at the equilibrium point, it depends on the marginal utilities that we have seen in our table, and the price and the level of his total income. Now in this case we have seen that the price of good X was 2 and the price of good Y was 3, and in this example we assume that his total income is 24 rupees that he will spend totally on the two goods X and Y. He will not be left with any penny in his pocket, so he is going to spend all his money. Given this situation, he will be at the equilibrium where he is buying 6 units of X and the 4 units of Y, because why? Because at this combination he will be spent all his total income, like 6 units of X, 6 units of X multiplied by rupees 2 will be 12, and 4 units of Y, 4 units of Y multiplied by rupees 3, right, will be equal to 12. So 12 plus 12 will be equal to 24. All his money is spent, this is a plus sign, will be spent on this combination. So this will be the equilibrium point of the consumer using the principle of equi-marginal utility principle. Now if we talk about the combination 5 unit of X, where his marginal utility of money expenditure is 6, and this 3 unit of Y with the marginal utility of the last rupee spent on the commodity Y is also 6. Now we will see that what happens on this combination. Five into, oh sorry, units of X multiplied by the price of X, which is 2, will be 10, and 3 units of Y multiplied by the price of Y, which is 3, and it will be rupees 9. If we when we sum this, it will come 19 rupees, which is very less than the 24, and he is left with rupees 5 in his pocket. So this violates our very assumption, and because he is not spending his all the money on purchasing of for purchasing the both goods. So this is not the equilibrium point, because the consumer wants maximum satisfaction or the fulfillment of his maximum desire. So he will not choose this combination. It is not feasible for him, or it doesn't maximize his total welfare. So now and the second thing is, at the same time the consumer will not reduce his commodity combination at the both level. He will not reduce consumption of X and at the same time consumption of Y, so it will not move upward on the both direction, on the both column. Now if we take second alternative to make you understand, just like if he moves back to 5 unit of X and he increases 1 extra unit of commodity Y, say 5 units of commodity Y, where is the marginal utility from the last money expenditure is 3. So I am going to erase it. Again I will write the is X, and this time he is going to consume 5 units of X multiplied by the price of X, which is 2 is equal to 10, and the 5 units of Y multiplied by price of Y is into 3, it will be equal to 15. So if we sum this, it will be 25, which goes beyond his budget. So this combination is also not feasible for him. It goes beyond his budget, so he will not move to the 5th unit of Y. Instead he will consume 6 unit of X and 4 units of commodity Y. We will also understand this concept by the graph. So let me wipe it out. Now we will understand the concept of consumer's equilibrium and the concept of equi-marginal utility with the help of graph. In this whiteboard, this quadrant shows the commodity X, the x-axis shows the units of X, and the y-axis shows the marginal utility of money of the last rupee spent on the commodity X. This quadrant shows the commodity Y, and these are the quantities of commodity Y. The vertical line shows the marginal utility of money for commodity Y. We have seen in the table that the 6th unit of commodity X gives 5 unit of marginal utility of money. So we will draw it like the marginal utility of the commodity is downward sloping, so the marginal utility of money curve will also be a downward sloping curve. So I will draw the coordinates for all the units. So we have got a curve which slopes downward, and this is the curve marginal utility of X upon price of X, or the marginal utility of money of X. Alright, so this is the curve which is mu of X divided by price of X, and it is downward sloping. We see that 6 unit of X gives 5 units of marginal utility of money. 5 unit of X attains 6 units of marginal utility of money, and so on. This quadrant shows the quantity of Y the commodity Y, and this is the marginal utility of money for Y. We can recall from the table that the fourth unit of commodity Y gives 5 units of marginal utility of money for commodity Y, and it is also a negatively sloping curve, and we can also recall it from the table. Third unit of Y, commodity Y, gives 6 unit of marginal utility of money spent on the commodity Y, and so the second and the first. Fifth unit of commodity Y gives 4 units of marginal utility of money spent on the commodity Y, and the sixth unit gives 3 unit of marginal utility of money spent on the commodity Y. We will derive a linear function. It should be a linear one, right? So this is the marginal utility of Y upon price of Y. So we have got the curves for both the commodities, the marginal utility of money for X and the marginal utility of money for commodity Y. Now the consumer will be at equilibrium at this point, where the marginal utilities of money spent on both the commodity is equal, because this is the this level will maximize his total utility. Any other combination on this graph will not give him maximum utility. We can recall that the consumer is in equilibrium, where he is consuming 6 units of X and 4 units of Y. The 6 unit is giving him 5 units of marginal utility of last rupees spent on commodity X, and the fourth unit of Y is also giving the 5 unit of marginal utility of the money or the last rupee spent. Now this is the equilibrium point, and I am going to discuss why this is the optimum combination. Suppose we are now reducing 1 unit of X. Say we are going to use 5 units of commodity X. So the loss, and this fifth unit of X, he will derive 6 unit of marginal utility from money, and his loss of the utility will be this shaded area, say A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D is the loss of his utility, and eventually he will increase the quantity of Y. So he will consume now 5 unit of commodity X. So I will name it E, F, G, H. So the gain in his utility is E, F, G, H. So we can see from the graph that the gain in the utility of the consumer is less than the loss of the utility of the consumer. So a rational consumer will not choose a decision like this. So he will be stable at the combination of 6 units of X and the 4 unit of commodity Y. I hope you understood this concept, and I will cover the non-linear demand function in my next video. Please subscribe my channel and give it a thumbs up if you liked my video, and share my video please, and be safe in the face of corona. Thank you so much for watching my video, and lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much.